And welcome to beautiful world of GT racing. Oops, sorry about that, people. Oops. Sorry about that, people. Okay, right, well, it seems Ivano is in front, which is quite amazing, quite frankly. He started off in third, I believe, but Mickey, however, did start off in first. He was expecting to go first and stay there, but something has obviously happened for the top guys. So we'll scroll down slowly just to see what's going on. Fast GMS clearly trying to catch up Mickey. Really close anyway. This is going to be a very close race anyway, so it's going to be fantastic all the way around, really. Right, okay, well, upon approaching the hairpin, they're all coming round quite safely, no problem there. Dharma in 10th, however, Monroe just approaching the hairpin right there. Not exactly the tidiest, but he still makes it without hitting any obstacles. However, it does look like he's already hit an obstacle, so we'll see how he gets on. As for he is doing so well at the moment, so that's clearly he likes this track. Obviously, this track does favour other drivers more than others, so we will see, because some drivers don't necessarily enjoy the head-to-head, the real close-knit battling, because it can put them off their braking zones, which is not a good thing, but you know, you do have to be aware of that fact. Okay, second time around a hairpin goes Fast GMS, followed by Damisha Bullet in fourth. That's a great racing by Bullet here. He was and Power goes for the overtake. Bullet was in sixth, I recall, and now Bullet is up to fourth position, which is a great move. However, Damisha has also gone up in standings, so that's quite amazing there. As we scroll down a little bit, well, it's going to be a bit tight here on the hairpin, but nobody comes off badly, so that's a pretty good race, I'd say. Well, with LOL Power leading the mini pack, as it were, well, that's really good. See Amuda in fifth position. I was expecting him to be higher than this, but he's obviously had a few knocks here or there, because I saw him in third position on the grid, so unfortunately he's not quite there at the moment. Yeah, well, unfortunately, so we will check out Grim, who's in 7th, who incidentally started off in 10th. So actually, we will see how he actually gets on. He has been away from the racing for some time now. So, and of course, as time has gone on, people have got a little bit better in their skill level. So that can't be bad at all. And good evening to you, Jason Harder. How are you, sir? Everything's going well, is it? I'm not sure if you were taking part in this, or is it just the A-deck for you? I get so confused with so many people racing bits and bobs in different leagues and whatnot. So it's very confusing. Well, at least for me anyway. Well, let's get back to the racing anyhow. It looks like Mickey has lost considerable amounts of places and gone down to 8th from essentially where he started. That was in first position. He was in pole, but unfortunately he's not actually putting any real pressure to get any headway. So right now he's stuck behind Grim. Although he's technically faster than Grim, it's a case of will he have the opportunity to actually overtake? Yeah, oh that's right, I remember now, Jason. I remember now, mate, yeah. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah. Well, all I can suggest is, mate, either A, get it repaired sharpish, B, get a new PS4, or C, save up and get a PS5. But then again, PS5s are very sought after machines. Really got to be there to actually get one ASAP, so it's a bit of a nightmare really, like that. But there you go. Anyway, we look back on the grid and we have Monroe in 11th position. The grid is starting to be spread out a little bit now. Dharma is in 10th position as we see it, clearly losing ground on Nightmare. Obviously something's happened to Nightmare, you know, earlier on, because usually he's not this far back, but quite frankly it seems that these cars tend to grind on the walls a lot, unfortunately, which is it doesn't do well for all the speed and everything else like that, so, or for good lap times. So unfortunately that's just the way it is. As for Grim, well, he's trying to catch up Mickey clearly after Mickey overtaking him, but whereas Mickey on the other hand is clearly trying to overtake Bullet, if that is if he can actually catch him up. So we're going to see what's actually going to go on here, because we could be up for a real tight battle here, because Mickey, he is a fast person, but will he actually manage to claw his way back up from pole position to 7th and now back up to pole, or back up to first? Can he actually make it? And that is the key. Is he fast enough? Yes, but will he have the opportunity? Time will tell. So we can't actually tell right now if he will have the opportunity. However, he is putting in some reasonable lap times, however they're not super fast. Bullet on the other hand is doing really well. He's ahead, he is holding off Mickey, so that's all well and good. Oh, and Mickey goes for the move on the inside, takes it and says thank you, I will have that place. and zooms out in front, and what an overtake by Mickey. Wowee. Okay, right, well that's another person off your list to overtake. Okay, next is Damesha, but he's quite a while away at the moment, so we're gonna see. Yeah, absolutely, it was a really top overtake, Jason, I must admit. A big shout out to Jason Holder, who's a regular driver and racer of the Drivers' Room. Well, with Amuda in 4th position, clearly he's got Damesha behind him, but not too much of a bother because there's quite a distance between them. However, Power in 3rd position really wants to catch up with 2nd, and fact is, can it be possible, I say can it be possible, for Power actually to get to number 1, which is going to be a real struggle for Power to actually do. But he is setting really good times, but the tyres seem to be wearing out somewhat, so there could be some issues later on. Well, obviously Power is having a few issues with his grip right now, hence the grinding on the walls, as you can see where sparks fly. As for JMS, yeah, it's all good, but Ivano, well, clearly out in front, and says, yep, I'm going to take that. And if Ivano can keep in front and stay numero uno, then that will be absolutely amazing for him. However, we have the Porsche, but it is using up a little bit more fuel than a lot of the others. But we're going to see Fast GMS obviously using a bit more fuel, so he's obviously not fuel saving or doing anything like that, but it will come back to bite you if you're high up on the list and you end up not fuel saving. So we'll have to see actually what happens between those guys. Well, we can see Power going for the move on the inside, and is he going to make it? And it looks like he is going to make it, because Fast JMS has decided to pit. So Power has the 2nd position by default, so good call there. Well, it looks like everyone's begun to settle in to their race, which is great news. Ivano clearly out in front, no issues there. Power, yeah, in 2nd, that's a great drive. Amuda in 3rd position, and oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That's a bit of a dodgy driving there, I must admit. So obviously, yeah, a bit of an issue there in the Toyota. But in the Porsche 919, they all seem to be racing really well, with Mickey being in the Porsche. So will Mickey be able to oh, look at these two. I have these two, and Bullet will be wanting to overtake, but he doesn't, but he goes super wide. But then again, that's okay, because he goes into pit. Oh my goodness me. What am I like? Well, Fast GMS, although he's been one of the first to pit, he will obviously go up in ranking when he passes the pit, which is a few corners away. So it's not too bad if he can just keep it up and just basically watch other people go into the pit. Dharma, on the other hand, in 8th position. Well, so a reasonable race, but then again not absolutely amazing, so kind of disappointing by Dharma, but then again never the fastest. Monroe, on the other hand, is not the fastest on the race course. I think any of us guys would say that, even Monroe. But this fellow is clearly not in last position, not in 11th, no. He's in 9th, which is actually very acceptable because he's overtaken Grimlock and Bullet as well. But then again, Monroe does need to change his tyres. So we're going to see what actually happens when the majority of the guys end up pitting. So I think most of them have pitted, or 50-50 anyway. Ivano needs to pit, as does Power, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Well, top 5, they obviously need to pit, so we'll see what happens there. But Dharma, I don't know what's happened. Why has he got racing hards on? Yeah, odd choice, I must admit. Racing hards. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? Monroe clearly needs to pit, but so the top 5 and Monroe all need to pit. The rest of the guys have all pitted. Ivano clearly being caught up by Power. But those guys are pretty tenacious, I must admit. So we're going to see what actually happens with these guys, because will they actually pit or won't they? Well, that's the question really. So we've got to go in to the pits. Will they end up pitting? Let's just check it out. Few chicanes to go. Final chicane, and down to the hairpin, and at the hairpin, curiously enough, is a pit entrance. So we will see if these guys go for the pits. I think Power is going for the pits. No, he is not. So that's very interesting. Your top 2 guys, top 3, top 4, and Fast GMS has come out of the pit. Not a problem there. He does need a little bit of fuel maybe. But, should have filled up a little bit more. However, the top 4, it seems, have all come out on racing softs. Or almost everybody. I think everybody apart from driven by Dharma, who's on racing hards. So clearly on a downslope from the exit of the pit. I'm not quite sure why he decided he needed hards. Maybe it was a tactical decision, maybe not. We're gonna see. Demetia is clearly eager to get past Dharma. He's got better tyres. Obviously a little bit of toing and froing here, but these guys, they seem to be racing very well with Mickey in front of, you know, what, the mini pack, I suppose, with Fast GMS putting a 10-second lead on already. So that's quite amazing. In 5th position, Nightmare in 4th position, but then again he ended up towards the back on the 2nd lap, I recall. So that's really unfortunate for him. But it turns out that he hasn't actually pitted. So my question is, will he actually pit, or will he just chance it and hope that he's got enough fuel to last it? It's going to be an interesting one for Nightmare, because will he actually pit? That's tricky. Well, Amuda not pitted yet, Power not pitted yet, and Ivano not pitted yet. So clearly 1, 2, 3, 4 have not pitted yet. Everybody else has pitted now, so I think that was a good call. But the top 4, they either need to pit, or are they going? Well, I think Nightmare couldn't stand it anymore and he's decided to pit, so I say good for him, because I think I'd be doing exactly the same about 8 minutes ago. So we will see. It looks like Amuda is in 3rd position, Power is in 2nd, which is really good going. But of course, do these guys want to pit? Do these guys need to pit? Have they worked out how many laps they need to do to make the fuel last? And can they make the fuel last the entire race without obviously bleeding dry? But we're going to see, I guess, aren't we? So we will see. Well, the thing is, Power does have the fastest lap, so clearly we know he's doing really good times. But unfortunately, the way things are at the moment, Ivano and Power are on very similar tyre wear. So it should be quite interesting the way that Power is trying to catch Ivano. But will he catch him in time? You know, this is the question. Can he actually do the job? Okay, well, in the meantime, let's have a look towards the back. Rowe in 11th position, Grim in 10th position. As we see it, no real threat there. Nightmare out of the pits and into 9th position. Bullet into 8th. I thought it was going to become higher, and he goes for the overtake on Dharma, and he doesn't make it stick because he's just behind. So sometimes you need to be a little bit more forceful on this track, I find, otherwise you'll just be left behind alone in the slipstream, unfortunately. Also working up a bit. Well, Dharma is in 7th position, as you can see. Clearly he started in 10th position, I believe, and unfortunately the way things are at the moment, he won't be improving any more spaces. For the moment, but unbelievably there's something wrong with Dharma, because Bullet has actually made the overtake and actually overtaken both of them. Go Bullet! Come on, how can you stay ahead? Right, is he gonna? Oh, he closes the door in their faces, and now they got the slipstream. Are people gonna make a move? Damisha, oh, right behind him, and this is going to be really, really tight here. And okay, for the final chicane. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, no issues there. Okay, well, we have Dharma, who's right behind, and then literally Nightmare Racer, who's going for an overtake, and he does actually overtake. No, and he stays in front of Dharma, so that's a good overtake by Nightmare. Okay, well, next thing is, can Nightmare actually catch Bullet and then overtake him? Because it's today, I think it's been a real up and down show, whereas people have started off high on the grid, ended up getting low on the track, and finishing up high again. So it's a real high-low race. Well, as we can see it, Bullet has now managed to grab himself a bit of a gap, which is fantastic, because most you want when you're leading a pack is a gap behind you, and so no slipstream, just you and your car. As for Damesha, who seems to be racing a pretty good race, I was expecting poorer turnout with Damesha, but she's managed to hold on to 6th, and you know what, he's held it, so what can I say? Excellent racing. Mickey, on the other hand, I was expecting Mickey to stay first, but unfortunately something happened beyond my control and beyond his control, clearly, because he seemed to have lost from first position to a 10th, I think it was, and now he's clawing all the way back up again. But clearly he's run out of time, because there's only just under 2 minutes left, and there's no way you can overtake 5 people in that time. Fast GMS, on the other hand, is doing quite well in 4th position, with Amuda in 3rd, which is, he's by himself at the moment, you see, and Ivano is by himself at the moment. However, Power, well, he's in front, but Ivano has obviously had a little accident, because unfortunately he is 6.4 seconds behind Power, and that's really unfortunate for him, because will he have the tyres to change? Well, there's clearly going to be no pits now, but Power has obviously made it to the top without a pit stop, all no stops, and from 3rd, I think, and he's ended up, or 7th, no, 7th, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, the point is, he's made up a few places, and he's ended up in 1st position, with Ivano being 8.3 seconds behind, so that's obviously quite a gap. And with Monroe in 11th position, and Power in 1st, Ivano 2nd, and Amuda 3rd, as we see it. So it's quite amazing. Mickey comes in 5th position. Damesha, as we see it, cross the line. Damesha cross finishes in 6th. Bullet finishes in 7th. And as we see it, driven with Dharma, finishes in 8th. Nightmare finishes in 9th. Grim, I was expecting a little bit more action from Grim, but he just needs to go over the Whoops. Cut that a little bit too much, I think. But he doesn't care. And over the line goes Grim in 10th position. While Monroe, obviously, will soon be finishing. LOL Power finishes in 1st position. Ivano finishes in 3rd, with Amuda finishing in 3rd. Ivano 2nd, Amuda 3rd. There you go. With Monroe just finishing across the line. So there you go. Power wins it. Excellent race by Power. So, thank you one and all for great racing. And I will start streaming very, very shortly on my DRFS channel. So, I will say goodbye. And don't forget to subscribe. And I will be streaming very, very shortly, DRFS, YouTube. Love you guys. Okay. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye for now.